Hello everyone, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cooking with Aimee and Bristol, now known as Talbot Tips, and we're going to be cooking up something delicious. We've got quite a few things going on here that looks a little messy. I hate to have a disorganized kitchen, especially while I'm cooking, but there's a lot of moving parts to this recipe, but super simple. Lots of opportunities to make additions or deletions. Are you staying or going? But there's a great opportunity here for those who might have allergies and anything else that you might need. Additions and things can be changed in this recipe. It's super simple. So I apologize for feeling a little frazzled today. I was supposed to be going to Windsor to go get my hair done, which is once again not going to happen thanks to Mother Nature. It is what it is. Here we are. So you guys got my beautiful hair going on here. So it is what it is today. I vowed last week when I washed my hair that I didn't have to do it. Lisa, my hairdresser, was going to do it, and it's not happening. So here we are. So today's recipe is actually called, we call these taco cups. Really simple. You might actually make these quite similar to this. I'm going to do a side salad as well, and we're going to do a start to finish, including making the salad, showing different tips and tricks that we do, and using my beloved, since we are in the month of love, we are going to use my beloved muffin pan for this. Now, if you don't have the muffin pan, my first question is why not? Because this is one of those tools that this sucker can be used for so many things. Mini cakes, mini meatloafs, mini lasagnas, brownies. It is called the brownie pan. I make little banana squares in here, like a banana cake in here. I love my brownie pan to the point that I have two, because I oftentimes, even when I'm doing my breakfast egg bites, I will make a double batch, and then I will throw them right into the freezer, so I do a double. So we're going to start off here right now by browning the meat. So I am using my non-stick stainless steel pan. This is a 10-inch. And I normally, when I do these things, do half chicken, half beef, just to cut the fat out a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with pure beef or chicken pork or a pork beef, whatever you fancy. If you're vegetarian, the Beyond Meat beef, this recipe works well because we're going to use some taco seasoning. We're going to use our super veggie in there. I'm going to add a little more kick to ours, so I'm going to add some chili peppers to ours. So it doesn't matter what meat or meat substitute you use. Whatever you use for a normal taco night, that is my suggestion. So I've got my beef browned, and I am using Pampered Chef's most popular tool of all time. And this is our mix and chop. This was help with cancer a couple years ago, so that's why mine's pink. It's normally all black. Literally Pampered Chef's most popular product of all time, $20. Incredible tool. I am just going to drain the meat a tiny bit just for 1 second, and then we're going to go back to this because I do want to show you a few things. So I'm just going to drain the meat. I do use extra lean ground beef, and I use, like I said, I use chicken. So I've just got that brown. I'm just going to turn that down a little bit, and then while that's going on, I am going to add my super veggie. Now, if you have been here before, you have seen my super veggie. And again, this has mushroom, pumpkin, parsnip, broccoli, and cauliflower powder, which means it adds extra veggie to any dish that you might have. It does, I'm not going to lie, has a tiny bit of a flavor to it. But when you add it to things like a sauce, a soup, or like this in a taco, you're not actually going to taste it because once I add all the seasonings to it, you're not actually tasting it. And it kind of gives the meat a creamy consistency, which in this particular instance isn't a bad thing at all. I always add it to my chili. Pampered Chef has a chili mix. Really simple and fast, which I'll be talking about in the next couple weeks because we're moving into Super Bowl. So again, that adds the extra veggies into your chili, which I love. If I can get some extra veggies, I have no problem with it whatsoever. So while that's going on, I do want to add an onion to my meat. So I'm just going to cut up an onion. And don't worry, I'm not cutting directly on my gorgeous green counters. You know, I wouldn't want to ruin my gorgeous green counters. But I am using my flexible cutting mat. Just going to take the onion there. I am using my Santoku knife, which you all know I love. And I'm just going to cut this into small squares, taking a half of it. And I'm just going to take my mix and chop. And I'm just going to chop my onion into tiny pieces. Normally I could use my manual food processor, but there was no need to take that out when I've got my food chopper. You can see there how fast that is. Onions are chopped. And now I'm just going to throw them right into the pan. And while the meat is done, but with the veggies in there, I'm going to add the onions in there. I'm going to add the taco seasonings and a little bit of water and let that do its thing. And while that's doing its thing, we're going to do the next step. So I'm just going to move this stuff out of here for now. Okay. We'll just mix in the onion. How's everybody's Wednesday? Snowy, cool, warm, depending on where you live, depending on the season. Today it's one of those days yet again. So I've got my onions mixed into my beef. We've got the veggie mix going on there. I'm going to add some crushed, oh, I can get into it, it's child-proof apparently. There we go. I'm going to add some crushed onions. No, I'm not. I'm going to add some crushed red peppers into my meat. I'm going to add, now, we do have a taco seasoning as well. I'm out, so I'm using Epicure's, which is fine. So I am using 2 tablespoons of seasoning. This is a half of a tablespoon because my other one apparently is in the dishwasher. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water to this and let that do its thing. And again, because Dave and I like spicy, I am going to add a little bit. It's very cold here. Oh my gosh, so Karen's saying it's minus 32. Are you in Calgary, Karen, or are you in Sherwood Park? Regardless, she's out in the central west end of Canada, and that sounds gross. But I'll tell you, us getting more snow here in southern Ontario after getting 55 centimeters almost 2 weeks ago, I'm so over winter, and yeah, here we are. So I'm just gonna let this brown and do its thing. And you can see there, the meat is just, you cannot tell that I've got the extra veggie in there once I've got all the taco seasoning in there, the red pepper, the onion. And I'm just gonna, again, like I said, I'm just gonna let this do its thing sitting here and give it the time to do that. And while that's going on, we're gonna do a few more things. So again, this recipe, super simple, really simple, but a lot of moving parts to it and not hard. And if you've got kids or grandkids in your life, this is a really cool recipe that you can actually ask them to help you with and have them actually get to help you. So I am going to use today, again, a few tools. So I am going to use a rapid prep mandolin and just putting it together. You can see here how simple, how easy, how fast it is. I don't need to worry about my fingers because you can see there the blade comes down, but with the I am not gonna hurt my fingers. I'm gonna take a couple cucumbers. I'm gonna take the tops off and we're gonna throw them into our rapid prep. And I'm just gonna slice them along. Might want them a little thicker. There we go. The dials on the back allow me to do, I am going to do a slice. I just want them a little thicker because I'm making a salad. I might get a couple more. You see how fast that is? Gonna take a couple more cubes and get them ready and prepped. And we're just gonna throw them in there. My mandolin is still in the box. Kelly, get this sucker out. Look how fast and easy that is. Okay, there's our cucumbers. I'm just gonna throw them into my glass bowl. And cucumbers are ready for the salad. I'm now going to take, once again, our flexible cutting mat. I'm using one of our other knives here. I normally like to use a different colored pepper than a red pepper for this salad. But my orange pepper looked real sad, so red it is. So because I like a multicolored salad. And this salad is actually just peppers, tomatoes, and cucumbers. We're actually not even gonna put a dressing on it. We're gonna put a glaze on it. So if you guys, have you ever tried, hold please, have you ever tried these nonis? These nonis, the balsamic glazes, these are the two kinds that I have in the house, which are Cabernet and strawberry fig. So this is what we're gonna spread onto the salad afterwards. But I just wanna mention, that's why I'm not doing a salad dressing. I'm actually just gonna put a glaze on the salad dressing after. Absolutely love them. I've got some, I'm gonna use my, oh my gosh, what's this called? Scoop and loop, good Lord. I'm gonna use my scoop and loop, just putting that inside the pepper all around. It's kind of got like these little teeth in it. And what it does is it cleans out my pepper completely. So really fast, really easy, really simple. Again, I can throw my pepper into my rapid prep. Now that I've got that cleaned out, I'm actually just going to use the same setting, throwing the pieces in there. Maybe I want it julienne. There we go. That's better. And let's use the there we go. Okay, so now I've got my pepper cut up. Just gonna throw that into the salad. These are the bigger pieces I should have cut earlier. I forgot to change. Again, the dial on the back of your mandolin is amazing because it allows you to do 3 different cuts. So a French fry, a julienne, or just a slice. And then the thickness, it's awesome. The sucker's dishwasher safe. A lot of times I'll just actually rinse it out because if I'm just doing like a simple vegetable like this, and it comes with its own little toothbrush. So if you've got any little pieces that kind of get stuck in it, it takes it out so easy and clean into the blade part. And again, so safe. I have never cut myself with it. Mind blowing because I cut myself on every vegetable. So now we've just got the cucumbers, we've got the peppers, and now I'm going to take some tomatoes and I'm just going to slice them in half because they're just little baby tomatoes. Some of these are really soft. It's the end of the carton for me. These would be really good in a sauce or baked into a pasta because they're kind of soft and on their way. So I'm just trying to get some firmer ones. And again, I'm just going to use my serrated tomato knife. This is the one that comes with the set, the steak knife, the knife set, but we have a beautiful coated version. And that's it for the salad. So this is going to actually go on top of our little taco bites that I'm going to show you in a minute. But for now, that's what we've got going on there. So we'll leave that salad to go. We've got our meat, and I'm gonna lift this, get this out of the way. So we've got our salad done, we've got our meat done. Again, a lot of moving parts, but really simple dish that, like I had said in the beginning, you can recreate into any version that you might need or dietary restrictions. So whether you're vegetarian, vegan, using a Beyond Meat or any meat substitute or even a tofu. And I used here half beef, half chicken. I always use an extra lean ground beef. And then ground chicken, just to alleviate some of the fat is all I do. Okay, so I've got that's done. I'm gonna roll out my pastry mat. And we are going to use a butter puff pastry. Now, you need to start using it, it's great, yes. So true. Yes, the mix and chop, Kelly, you need to totally use it. Karen is right. Okay, so we are actually going to use today the butter puff pastry from President's Choice. This is made in you buy this in the freezer section, and it comes frozen. You could just toss it in your fridge to thaw it, or like I did, I just left it on the counter this morning to thaw. It is super cheap, like it's like $2 or $3, it's ridiculous. Really tasty and super easy to use. And for, again, a dinner like this, it seems like a lot of moving parts, but super, super simple. So if you've come in from work, the kids have hockey, or listen, you just don't even want to make a dinner, this is a really easy one where you can just throw it right into the oven. You've browned your meat, you're going to throw it in here, you're going to throw it in the oven, and it makes really great leftovers. And if you've got an air fryer, these suckers reheat beautifully in your air fryer too. I kid you not. And again, I've got the veggie, our super veggie in here. Our pea protein comes this way, so does our kale and fiber. I use all three because, again, I love just to get that extra goodness into my meat. So we've got the butter puff pastry. I use it all the time from PC. I buy 2 or 3 and just leave it in the freezer because you never know. Comes like this on a parchment. Now mine is still a little bit cold, borderline. Yeah, it's all right. So I'm just going to unfold it, okay? Take the parchment off. And now I'm going to use our biscuit cutter. Now, you probably don't have every single tool from Pampered Chef. Don't worry, I'm not judging you. You know I can help you get every single tool. And there's great ways that you can get every single tool for free. But that's not why we're here. I'm just showing you that we have some really cool tools. Like our biscuit cutter comes in several sizes, but you can use a cup, and you're using the top or whatever. Right now, you want to cut something in the size to put into your brownie pan. So I'm just cutting there, the circle, and then I'm just going to fill that in there, and I'm just going to lay them in. Okay? So I can normally get about 6 from each sheet. The 6th one, I always kind of have to play around, but I have some extra dough there. So again, I'm just going to fit it in, and because it's a butter puff pastry, I do not need to grease this pan at all. And our pans are non-stick, which means they don't have to be sprayed. Some recipes do call for it depending on what you need, and that's when I would ask that you do not use the chemical sprays. There's so much junk in it that they're gonna actually leave a sticky film onto your pans that you're not gonna want. So if you need to use spray, that's when my suggestion is always use our kitchen spritzer with the oil in it, and that way you're not getting any of this junk that you don't want. You just use any of your oils that you use, a canola, a sunflower, a peanut, extra virgin, all of those. Okay, so I always just take the very last and I roll it out, just crushing it together to make another. And here we are. So that's number 6. You can see there how they're laid in there. Just gonna leave that one there. I'm gonna unroll my second. Really delicious, really yummy recipe. And again, got my next one. I'm gonna roll this one just a tiny bit. There we go. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is always a little funky, but I just spread it out. There we go. And again, because it's puff pastry, I do not need to grease my pan at all. Since it's just 2 of us for dinner, there will be leftovers of this. It's awesome because, like I said, they reheat so beautifully, so simply. And on a day like today where we have unknown weather, chances are hunkering down kind of weather, it's nice to have a really simple dish. Now, again, if you do not have the brownie pan, I'm not judging, but this little sucker is amazing, and it's under $35. So it's one of those pans that I absolutely love and couldn't imagine without. But if you don't have it, again, no biggie. Use a muffin pan. Most of you have a muffin pan. And even if for whatever reason you don't have a muffin pan, even if you go buy the tin ones at the grocery store, those will work well as well, where you can just easily put your cups in. I just love to use my brownie pan as often as I can, and those of you who know how much I love it, it is always, what else can I do with my brownie pan? So, we have our meat done. We have our puff pastry in our pan. We're now going to open up a brick of cream cheese, okay? And we are going to slice the brick of cream cheese just with a simple knife. So I'm going to use, again, just my utility knife. Right there. All of our knives, as you know, are a lifetime guarantee. Love them. So I'm just going to take a chunk of cream cheese, about 1 by 1 by 1, and I'm just laying it on into the bottom of the pan. Okay, so I'm just taking a slice of cream cheese, and I could probably have used my slicer to do this. And it probably would have worked great had the cream cheese not been softened. So cream cheese has been out for a little bit just to soften it, to cut it a little easier. Because if it was colder, it would have worked really well. I'm just going to show you here what I'm doing. Oop, that one doesn't even need to be cut. Okay, so I'm just putting the little bit of cream cheese right here in the bottom of our cups. Okay, now, once again, moving stuff. I wasn't kidding about a lot of moving parts, but super simple. So now I'm just going to take our meat, which is browned, which has got the little bit of onion, the taco seasoning. I've added, for an extra kick, I've added some crushed peppers in here. You could add some jalapenos. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill the cup to the top with meat. Okay, so I'm just filling it just to the top. I'm not measuring it at all. Just putting the meat right over top of that cream cheese right now. Okay. Really simple. I'll show you guys in 1 second. I try to keep the meat as into the cup as I can. And again, if you've got little ones at home, this is a really great one again for those hungry teenagers, if you've got those in your life. This makes a neat appetizer. This would be great if you are hosting your own Super Bowl party or you're hosting a birthday party. Again, you just do a simple taco meat that can be really mild if your kids are little. But getting your kids into the kitchen, this is a really neat and easy one. Kiara makes this one with her friends at university because then they can just grab and go really simply. So you can see there, we've just filled our cups with our meat. I'm going to shred up some cheese. So I've got one of our glass bowls. I love to buy my cheese unshredded just because I don't want any chemicals in there. I just buy mine from Costco. So I buy the big old brick. And thankfully I've got some beautiful graters. So this is just our regular grater, and I'm not going to use the safety. I promise not to hurt myself. I promise. There we go. And I'm just going to shred just a bit just so I can show you. Again, if you have your safety on here, it's a lot safer, obviously. But I want to put these in here. And I am going to sprinkle some of the cheese right on top of the meat. And then we're going to bake this into a 375 oven for about 15 minutes or so. Again, everything is cooked with the exception of the puff pastry. So I just want the puff pastry to cook up. Everything, the meat's cooked, the cream cheese that's in the bottom of the little cup will actually melt away in there, and we will be able to have a dinner, lunch, or a snack, whichever you prefer for this meal, in quite an easy and fast time. Now again, this would be one of those recipes that you can double. I've got lots of meat left, you can see there. I would be able to do a whole nother set of these. Again, I keep the puff pastry in the freezer because it's super simple just to roll out. I mean, I like to make my own pastry too, but when it comes to a buttery puff pastry like this, you can't go wrong for the price and for the ease of this. So I'm going to toss this into a 375 oven, and while that is cooking, I'm just going to quickly tell you what we're going to do afterwards. And I will post the recipe and a photo once it is done, because it's going to cook for about 15 minutes. So what I normally do is I pop them out. They're going to be a beautiful little square, a little bowl, a little taco bowl. Again, I love my brownie pan, that's why I use it. You don't have the brownie pan? No worries, use a muffin pan. This is a really great recipe too if you have the large muffin tin that we have. You can make a bigger version, almost like a burrito bowl. I would suggest then doubling the cream cheese and putting that in there and cutting the bigger circle. Again, if you don't have our biscuit cutters, that's okay. You can use the bottom of a jar, the bottom of a cup, whatever works for you. Absolutely go crazy for sure. So once it's done and they come out, I am going to top them with a little bit of the creme fraiche. I'm going to just put that on top. I am going to grate some lime, and I'm going to put that on top. And then I'm just going to add one of the little veggies just on top, just for prettiness. And on the side of these, on the plate, I'm going to add the salad, and I'm going to use the strawberry fig glaze on top, and that's dinner. Super simple, super easy. Like I said, there's a bit of moving parts. We had to brown the beef. We had to shred some cheese. We wanted to cut some veggies for a salad. But guys, you can see it made 12 with one box of puff pastry. I got enough salad here and enough of the taco bowls in the oven now that can be dinner and lunch tomorrow. 2 dinners in a row, and I love the ease of this. Again, a lot of moving parts to get here, but really simple once you've got all those things put together. Really fast, really easy. It's what's for dinner tonight. Like I said, Tip Tuesday today would be anything that you need to change as far as meat goes. Totally easy to do. You can make it as hot as you want, non-hot. They do make a lactose-free, dairy-free cream cheese. They make a dairy-free beautiful cheese. And therefore, if you are lactose intolerant or vegan, easy to do. For the puff pastry though, unfortunately, in the ingredients list, this does have obviously buttermilk in it, as does the creme fraiche, which is essentially a cream, a sour cream with a bit of buttermilk. That's what's the difference between a normal sour cream and a creme fraiche. So those differences, I would use maybe even a wonton and make a wonton bowl with the tacos for those that might be lactose free or dairy free. I'm totally able to do that. And again, they have, President's Choice came out with a really neat coconut milk version of sour cream. When they first came out with it, it almost tasted dessert-like. They have changed the recipe and it's really, really great. So again, really simple. It's PC. It's not Pampered Chef, but there are some really cool PC things too that this PC loves. So I hope you all have a great Wednesday. I'm going to show you how beautiful this dish is. Simple and easy to make. Moving parts to get there, but once it's all shredded and cooked, really simple and easy to do. Dinner's done in a half of an hour, including a salad and leftovers for tomorrow. So I hope you all have a great Wednesday. I'm so glad that you're all here. Pop in the chat if you have any questions, and we will see you on the other side.